Good morning, everybody. I thought I had recorded an intro to this video, but looks like it was literally a second and then my phone shut off or something. I don't know what happened. But I am re-recording the intro. So today I am going to be going back to the oil pastels that I had used in the last video. I ended up really liking the medium and wanting to understand it a little bit more. So I did do some research and tried to figure out more blending techniques, more color techniques within the oil pastel medium, and just really trying to hone in on what that looks like for me as an artist and how I can better understand it as a medium in general. That might mean that I make things that I don't necessarily love, but that's the whole point of exploring a new medium and trying to understand who you are as an artist. So if you have a beverage and you have a creative project that you want to work on with me, let's go ahead and do that together. We're going to be drawing today, and then at the end of the drawing, go over how I feel about the drawing, what I feel works about the drawing, what I feel doesn't work about the drawing, and the things that I would like to improve. During the drawing video, I'm going to just chit chat with you about my plans as an artist, my plans as a creative business owner, who I would like to be in the space, and some realizations that I'm having as a creative person and artist that I feel like I have been kind of neglecting the past few years. So let's go ahead and get to it and just chit chat. It's gonna be fun. All right, let's go. I feel like I've been an artist for a relatively long time. I've always loved art. I went to art school, but recently I've been having a hard time figuring out what kind of artist I actually am. So I've been starting over a little bit, trying new things and letting myself be bad at stuff again. And honestly, sometimes it feels really uncomfortable, but it's also pretty exciting. When I picked up my iPad for the first time, I thought that was a really great way to draw and always be able to draw and get things done quickly and make sure things expand and I can use them on different products and all of that. And I sort of lost sight of what it meant to create with my hands again, with paint or with pastels, which I've been exploring recently, like this video, with colored pencils, or with literally any other medium besides an iPad. And that doesn't necessarily mean I don't want to use an iPad, because I do. I think that every medium has its own specialty and makes sense in different ways. For a while, I think I've been putting myself in this box, like what makes sense, what is working for other people, and sort of what people expect. Especially with wanting to have a creative business, it's been pretty easy to stay in this safe space or this predictable space of, oh, this works for everybody else, so it must work for me. And at some point it stopped feeling inspiring, and it stopped feeling fun, and it stopped feeling engaging for myself as an artist. And it was more like trying to run a business instead of trying to create art. But if you don't even know who you are yet as an artist, it's very hard to make a business that's sustainable, for one, and then for two, a business that you even want to keep doing. And that means that I haven't been putting any pressure on myself for it to be good. There's no pressure for it to turn into a product or for it to turn to a business or whatever. I'm sort of just letting myself be Roxanne the artist. And I think that is the thing that has been missing this entire time for me. Forget how much it just feels good to play and to experiment. And that's honestly such a great part about art, to not think about, algorithms or if something will sell or if it fits my quote unquote brand, what my brand looks like and all of that. I'm just making something because I want to, and I want to explore, and I want to get better at something. If you're in a similar place, I'd love to hear where you're at too, and we can just chat about all things in the I don't know space of being an artist. Okay. I don't love it. So here she is. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So I think a few things went wrong. First things first, this perspective is so bad. I don't know what I was doing. I was looking at a reference photo, and I did not do the perspective on this duck the same way as the reference photo, but I was like trying to do the same perspective as the reference photo, and I wasn't addressing the fact that the perspectives were not the same. So this got messed up. So this is not good. I guess I could have went back over it with blue, but then it would have been weirdly dark.
And so I didn't want to just draw over my mistake. A few things I think are working. The beak, I think, is working pretty well. The flower, I do not hate. I love that it's more of this like expression vibe and not so realistic. Um, in here, so in the crease of her neck, I'm just calling it her, in the crease of her neck, where her like jaw meets her neck, I accidentally picked up a green dark pastel when actually I probably should have picked up more of a blue or like a deep orangey red or something, because it got really muddy here. And I went to art school, so I understand complementary colors, but for some reason I'm not understanding it when it comes to pastels and implementing them as layering to create shadow. But for the shadow, you would typically layer, say you had an orange, right? You would layer a dark blue underneath the orange and then layer the orange on top. There are some people that do it that way. Some people don't do it that way. So it's not a rule of thumb, but that would typically give you just like a deeper orange, like a cooler, deep orange. But a green wouldn't work there. Not here, at least, not where I'm seeing it. So I think that that's a little muddy. I don't hate the eye area. Something to note about oil pastels, obviously, is because they're thick, it's really hard to create really intricate details. And so eyes, like an eye on a smaller image, would be harder to do. So I was like very, very careful. I don't know if I have that filmed, but I was very careful to just like dot the eye in there and sort of make it not fully round so that I could savor, I could keep like a little bit of the lightness in the eye. Something that I'm not understanding, which maybe I'll understand eventually, is how to do kind of like a wing, because there's so much texture in a wing because of all the feathers. I wonder if I would have to do a few swipes of like a darker color and then swipe on top of it the light. I'm not sure. I have to figure that out, and I'll probably do a series of exploration maybe here to figure that out. I don't think it was necessary for me to go in with this darker color, because I think in my head I'm just like, it needs to be darker down there, but really it didn't. I don't think it really needed that. And then also I have no idea how to do water in oil pastel, so we're gonna have to learn that as well. But again, things I think are working are sort of the face here, the beak, the flower, and then everything else I feel like needs work. But it was nice to explore. I cannot sign oil pastel. I'm gonna need to figure something else out. This is so thick. But overall, I mean, I'm learning, and it's not my medium of choice. And so I think, not for nothing, it's not so bad. I do like the texture the oil I do like the texture that the oil pastel creates. But like, look, you can see sort of how nice that flower looks, how whimsical it looks, um, and how sort of whimsical and nice the beak looks. But again, you can see that muddiness right here. Overall, I'm not ecstatic with the drawing. I'm not super disappointed in the drawing, but it is just a stepping stone to getting better at it. And I did before I did this one, I did attempt another one, just like a head on shot of the duck, which would be this. The beak I messed up, which is why I started the other drawing. Again, I think the flower is working. I don't think the beak is working. I don't hate the eyes. I think I did too much. I had too much going on with the yellow, and I again muddied up inside of here, and I kept trying to fix it, and I couldn't fix it. And I think that's something about oil pastels that I have to keep in mind is I don't know if you can really fix things that easily. So less is more from the get-go, and then you basically work your way through oil pastels and you build as you go, and that's how you get the detail that you need to get. I don't hate what's happening here. I don't hate the eyes, and I don't hate the flower. But the beak isn't working for me. It's muddy here, muddy here, muddy here. Definitely muddy in here. And I think I just went too dark on the overall duck. Like, I should have definitely left a lot more white in the duck, but I didn't know how to get that texture just leaving the whiteness of the page. So I don't know, maybe I should have just used a white pastel. And then even though the page is white, I would have had white texture for the duck. So lesson learned there as well, but that you can see close up to get your thoughts and opinions in. If you have any advice, holler, and I will take said advice and do better next time. But we're still learning, right? So thank you for coming along and just chatting with me and just my dog, and just experimenting with me. It was a lot of fun, and I still love this medium. So I look forward to continue to use it. And with that said, I will catch you guys next time. Bye.